Welcome, Aquarius. Welcome to your end of September 2021 love reading. I'm Dee, and this is Intuitive Life Advice. I have pulled your cards, not because I wanted to pull them before I started recording, but because I pulled them and got this far into the reading before I had to stop my recording. So I'm going to start from here. I'm going to start over, but I'm not going to redraw cards because this was a really important message for somebody. And that's why I'm here. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for the subscribers. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. And never underestimate the power of a well thought out comment, because it helps others navigate their situation. And your situations are similar if you're commenting on the same video. And it just kind of helps in the healing process for everyone involved. So please always keep that in mind and take a moment and leave a comment. It helps other people more than you know. And it helps me because that way I can be aware that I've reached you and reached the people that I'm trying to reach in these videos. So don't forget to watch your Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus sign videos as well. And let's get started here. I was telling you all before I had to start over here that this situation that you're feeling a deep regret here, and it's as if you're not able to. You don't even really know where to start. You're still processing all this that happened in this situation within this relationship, and you don't really feel like you are standing on a firm ground. It's like you're not real balanced right now, and so it's making you a little uneasy because you're not feeling normal. You're not feeling like yourself. And actually, Aquarius, that's because you haven't been yourself for a very long time within this relationship. So you're going to have to go back through this and process through all of this so that you can find all those pieces that are missing, pieces that have fallen to the wayside, pieces that are lost but not completely lost. You can find those pieces and put them back where they go and put yourself back together again. You are not broken. You are just a little fragmented right now. And you're having regret, of course, because of the situation that you're processing all this in your mind, and so you're seeing what was really going on here. But some of it you're still not seeing, and that's what I'm going to help you see now. But you're trying to process all this because you're learning things that you are not normally you don't normally have to learn these types of things in normal life, dealing with normal, well-grounded and well-balanced people. But this person really threw you for a loop. They caused you to just turn into someone that you don't even recognize. You're not recognizing yourself, and this is understandable because these abusive type, manipulative type relationships, some are just torturous and agonizing, and others just really work on your emotional well-being and your soul. And that is what I'm feeling here for you, as someone is it just almost feels like they committed a little bit of soul murder here on you, but not quite. That's why I'm very hopeful for you here, because you were being obedient to this person, whether you really realize that or not. You were doing things that normally you do out of loving kindness and consideration for someone that you love or care about deeply. And you like to treat people well because you know that that's how it works. You treat them well, and then they treat you well in return, especially when you're in a relationship where you're supposed to love one another. And Your relationship, however, was one-sided. I'm going to show you this card. This is called One-Sided Love. And hope I'm pulling that far enough where you can see it. And this card is showing us that there's a set of rings here. There's a commitment here. And inscribed on the inside band of one of the rings is, I love you. And inscribed on the inside of the other band is, I know. So this person was going through the motions. They were talking the talk and not able to walk the walk. They were not being who they were portraying themselves to be, because they were, anyone who's being fake and actually thinking that they can go through life with a false persona, a false identity, a mask, pretending to be someone they're not, that type of thing. And I don't mean this in a completely sinister way. I just mean that this person really thinks that this is how relationships work. They think you just go through these motions, and that is the gist of a relationship. And it's very sad. This person looks at that, at love this way. Now, what you all had going for certain was the passion was there. There was a lot of passion in this relationship, and I feel like that's what drew you together. Probably pretty quickly after meeting, the relationship was very passionate. And I feel that pretty strongly. I don't feel like it was a traditional, old-fashioned way of getting to know someone slowly and then progressing from there. I just feel like you guys kind of jumped into the passion before you even realized whether or not before you ever even tried to find out if the compatibility was going to work. But once you got into this, you started seeing that you were kind of being manipulated. You were manipulated in a way. You were manipulated by this person in a way that felt like you were, and the best way to describe this to you would be like you felt like you were under their spell, like you couldn't free yourself from this connection, this influence they had over you, this control they had over you. And this control they had over you was very methodical for this person. This person was doing this on purpose. I'm seeing them now in my mind, kind of grinning, one of those, there's a slang way to put that. I'm trying to think of a not so slang way to put it. A crap-eating grin. I'll just say it like that. Sorry for the distasteful word there, but it's like they would do things and then they would watch you. They would do something to control you, and they would just watch you carry out the process of being controlled. And it just they really enjoyed that. They really enjoyed watching that. And it brought them a lot of satisfaction in more ways than you want to know, because that was their whole plan with you, was to control you completely. And once they showed you their darkest side, I will put it in those terms. Once they showed you their darkest side, it was very shocking and scary for you, to where you felt like you needed to, I can see you hitting your knees in the shower, just like, or going down to your knees in your shower, and the shower the water just running all over your body, and you have your head down and you're just crying like a baby. You're just wailing, crying so genuinely and so hard, and just begging God to please show you the way out of this. Show you what to do, what's wrong, what's going on. And I feel like you were getting your answers in dreams, and then you would just happen across something online that you weren't searching for per se, but it would just kind of pop up there for you as a suggestion, maybe an article that explained a little bit of this behavior to you or something like that. So you were being divinely led and guided to the place that you're at now, and you are feeling once again how being truly adored by someone and cared for genuinely, you're remembering what that feels like because you've brought yourself out of isolation with this person, and you're just allowing yourself to be who you are again. And you just started that. You just started doing that, so you're not completely, you don't feel like your pieces are all put back in their tidy little place yet, but you're working on it. And your messages here are, your true love message is, love is supportive. Love supports dreams, wishes, and it supports goals. It elevates hope, encourages growth, and discourages fear and reluctance. Love is helpful and supportive. Love is supportive because it is uplifting and empowering. It is a strong, steady leaning post. Love is a rock. And then you have, love does not isolate. Love encourages meaningful time spent with friends and family. It does not detach, alienate, or create distance from them. This is not love. So, seeing that you were controlled, I mean, in a huge way, and that this person was not reciprocal when it came to loving you or knowing how to love someone. You know, just saying I love you every day doesn't mean I love you. It means I know how to say I love you. To find out if someone loves you, it's going to show in their actions. Are they honest with you? Are they forthright with you? Are they argumentative? Do they hide things from you? Do they speak to you like you're in their future? Are you a part of them? Do they care about you as they care about themselves? That type of thing. And so many more things, so many other ways. But this one-sided love is where, it's like I was telling you, this person, these rings say, one of them on the inscription is, I love you, and the other says, I know. It's not, I love you more, or I love you to the moon and back, I love you too. It's just, I know. And that is perfectly in line with this person's energy, because they don't know how to love you. And, you know, there are so many people who get in these situations with a partner who doesn't know what love is or how to love. They just know how to say it. And it causes all kinds of problems, because a healthy, well-rounded, balanced individual is just really troubled in a relationship that is one-sided, because, you know, one party understands what love is and how to show love and express it and receive it and give it, and then one party doesn't know how to do any of it except say it. You know, bring you a card on a holiday and tell you I love you, you know, like a robot, just you're remembering how other people treated you before this person, and it kind of started waking you up a little bit. You realized you were being controlled, and you were under some sinister, evil type, dark influence that you were really beginning to become afraid of, because you knew that if you continued down this path, you may not ever find yourself again. So I'm glad to see that you are at least allowing your life to be yours. You're just being you, unapologetically right now, and you have contacted someone who cares about you. I don't know if this was someone maybe that you were in a relationship with in the past that ended up being more of a friendship, or if this is a great friend. And it could possibly be a family member, but it just feels like a strong, steady, boundless friendship type relationship with someone. And that, I'm telling you, dear heart, that a foundation like that is what you need to base, or what you should consider basing all your upcoming relationships on. That friendship is worth more than 5,000 of these one-sided love relationships. Start there. Start friendships before you get into the romantic side of it. So this person isolated you. They weren't supportive. They encouraged fear in you. They created a lot of fear in you, and which counteracts, it counteracts this card that says love discourages fear and reluctance. And this person was doing everything wrong. They were treating you wrong in every way. And so that's why your overall energy is feeling like you're just in pieces. You're fragmented, just fragments of you that some of them you're not even recognizing, but you will pull those pieces back together. And the main thing you need to do here is create boundaries. Create a boundary, first of all, to protect you from people like this person in a romantic relationship again. You don't want to go back down this road. So create a boundary. What is it that you're not willing to accept? And once you do that, and someone crosses that boundary with you, you just call it right there and say, okay, this isn't going to work because, and you don't even have to explain yourself. This isn't going to work. I'm sorry, it's just not going to work. This isn't for me. And then you exit the relationship. And you can't keep moving your boundary like you did with this person. You set a boundary that you had all your life. No one's ever going to hit me. No one's ever going to call me a B word or a C word or a R word or whatever word. And you kept moving that boundary because you kept thinking that this person would see the light and see how amazing they had it with you and how lucky they were to be in a relationship with someone as wonderful and true, and allow you to help them repair themselves. And that's just not going to happen with this person. It's just not. This person is not going to change. This person is who they are, and they're going to go through the rest of their life seeking out people like you who are kind and good and don't see evil, and you think you can fix everyone. And I want you to work on that. It's beautiful to want to fix people, but you can't fix people. You don't want your next person to be needing repairs. Don't get a partner in need of repair. Get a partner that is already exactly the model that you want. I'm going to pull a Words of Wisdom card for you now, Aquarius. See what we can get to help you, guide you, show you something. What message do we have? C-PTSD, my beautiful soul. You have a little bit of complex post-traumatic stress disorder from this relationship. So that tells me that you were in this for a little while and you swallowed all that. You allowed that to penetrate you. It affected you in a way that you're going to need a little bit of assistance to get straightened out, to get all your pieces back. And this is normal. And at the bottom of the deck here on your Words of Wisdom, you've got dignity. And that's a beautiful card to have at the bottom of this deck, because you you've primarily maintained your dignity through this situation, but you have lost it here and there, and you felt it when it happened. This person would do something or say something to you, and it would just cut you off at the knees, you know, and you just felt like they took your dignity in that way, and then and in several other ways as well. And you're gaining your dignity back. And it started when you began to realize, ask for help. When you asked for help, and then you realized you were being controlled by someone, and then you started learning about it and processing it and figuring out, why is this happening? What kind of person must this person be to treat me this way? And you started doing your research, and then you got around someone who showed you who you were again. They reminded you of who you were again, and reminded you of what it felt like to be loved in a healthy way. And that could even just be a friend or a family member that reminded you what love feels like. And then you're just sitting in your own energy right now while you're processing and thinking all this over. But complex post-traumatic stress disorder is a very serious, it's a very serious condition, because it is from more of a long-term traumatic series of events and how they affect each person individually. And if this card is here for you, it means this has deeply affected you. You know how some people, they can just turn their back on someone and walk away and say, see ya, wouldn't want to be ya, and they move on with their life, never to even lose a wink of sleep about that. And before that, they were just crazy about that person, but they could walk away, and sure, it hurt, and they cried for a day or two, but it wasn't something that just anchored them down into the dingy water or the muck for weeks and months and years. Well, some people can do that, and you're not one of them, because Aquarius, you have empathy, you've got psychic abilities, and you're very intuitive. It's obvious here. I can feel it clearly. And people like you, it's like, if you were just had psychic ability and you were intuitive, you may be able to just walk away from that person, especially being Aquarius. But you're more in tune with your heart space. You're more in tune with your empath, your inner empath, than you are with those other traits right now. I'm going to say right now, because I feel like you're probably going to turn that around and balance those all out. But right now, this is going to stay on your heart until you figure out a way to let it go. And that's what you're doing right now. You're just being quiet and still, thinking, processing, remembering, seeing, and working through all this. And when you figure out a logical truth here, you're going to be able to let it go. And you may consider contacting some people in the psychology field, some counselors that deal with complex post-traumatic stress disorder associated with being in a narcissistic relationship, because this is narcissistic personality disordered person who has abused you narcissistically. You following me? There's names for all this, and they can help you navigate through this and feel it. You got to recognize it, and then you feel it, work through it, and then you can heal it and let it go. So, and there are also relationship coaches that specialize in this situation here too. So, and there's a link in my description box, but the website isn't going to be up till October now, so might keep checking back, probably within a week or two. that link will be working, and you can go to that site. It's very affordable, high quality coaching for this type of situation. They're not proud and pricey. They're there to help people and just to keep their channel up. So you might check that out. Now, once you recognize that this is really a thing, this is a diagnosed condition in people who have gone through situations like you're coming out of. Excuse me. And these people don't change. They either progress and get more abusive. It could turn into physical abuse if it hasn't already. And if it's just, if you're thinking in your mind, oh, it was just a little shove that time on Easter or whatever, well, that's physical. And they get away with that. They know that you don't have a boundary there, so they're going to do it again, and it'll be worse until you're in the hospital or worse. So that's the way this kind of thing works. You do not want to be associated with someone who mistreats you, because you can never flourish as a human being in a situation like that. So I'm glad that you're being still and quiet and thinking this over and going to God and your creator, or whatever you believe in to be your higher power, and you're communicating there and asking for guidance, and I'm glad to see that. So that's your message here, Aquarius. You're needing you need to look up C-PTSD, check it out. And there are not very many people who specialize in that. If you're not a military veteran or something, if you were in the military, this is a normal condition. But this is also C-PTSD that was brought on during a relationship with a person with narcissistic personality disorder, one of the cluster B type personality disorders. So don't let somebody tell you there's no such thing, because I'm here to tell you there is. And there are a handful of people out there that understand that and have lived it and have the experience to help you get through it and get back to you. So don't take anybody's, if anybody tells you it's not real or it doesn't exist, I want you to keep walking and keep looking for someone else as a counselor, or just go to one of these, like I said, the relationship coaching sites who specialize in that, like the one that I've got a link for in my description box. Because if they don't understand this, nobody's been through it. You have to live through this kind of thing to understand it enough to help people. And that help is available. So don't let anybody tell you that it's not. I wish you the absolute best, Aquarius, and thank you for joining me. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment. All of that is helpful and so appreciated. You just so appreciate it. And I'll be back with another reading soon. And don't forget, watch your Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus sign videos. Take care, and I wish you the best, Aquarius.